Hi guys, I'm Saba and today I'm going to play a playing game. So apparently I'm playing against a 1800. This is a 1510 game, so let's see what I can play. Since my opponent is not really high rated, I could try to play something else. For example, what if I go 45? Why not? I also have a ton of time to think. That's the advantage of playing with long time. I could think more, I could do pretty much whatever I want. So my opponent plays knight on f3, we replied with knight on c6, and now you see what he does. He could play the Poinciani, he could play the Italian, he could play the Spanish, as he does. So after they play this move, you have a bunch of things you could try. We could go for the Berlin endgame, in this case, by playing this move. But we could go just for the normal Spanish game, and I'm going to play a6. a6 is the move. If you take and take knight take, there is always the move queen d4, attacking both of the knight and the pawn. They play this. Now if you play b5 is the Archangel variation, if I remember correctly. But we don't have to play that move. The main move at this point, it is just knight on f6, and you're supposed to castle. After you castle, I can play bishop e7, b5 and castle. And we have a good position. Now, queen e2 is a move. Queen e2 is actually theory, is a move that I used to play. The fact is that if black knows theory, you don't really get a really good position. The fact is that I don't. I mean, b5 always makes sense. It is always playable. The idea is that you want to play c3 and d4. So if I play bishop on c5, I just help you. So I'm not going to play it. I could just play, for example, bishop e7. Let's say you play c3. I figured. So yeah, I'm just going for b5. At this point, there is also another annoying move that is knight on a5, but I don't know the theory at this point. But yeah, it kind of looks like it makes sense to me. So yeah, knight on a5. The fact is that if you really want to play c3, I mean, you can do that. I'm just going to damage your scatter and I play bishop on b7, maybe. I don't know if it's good to me. Oh, you can't do this because you lose the pawn, but really? Let's take first. Are we sure about that? The knight is a huge target. Now what happens if I play queen e7? Queen e7, you defend it somehow, just play d6. I wanted to play d6 anyway, and then I take the pawn. So don't think I'm down a pawn. I think I'm fine. And then we go for bishop b7. Yeah, could take with the knight, but I'm just going to take with the queen. The fact is that if I take with the knight, I have a queen on e7. That doesn't make any sense. I can't really develop pieces. So if you want to, we could play pieces. And I'm completely fine with that. Let's see, where do I want my knight? I think still on f6, and then we could go for this. We could even go for this. I have many ideas with the knight on f6. So let's go for it. Now you probably should castle. No, the pawn is hanging, so I guess d6 just makes sense. I'm also preventing the knight to come on e5. Looks like a sensible move to me. I could play bishop b7, looks logical, but first I might want to play bishop e7. Or I might want to flank to this bishop too. Also bishop b7 looks like it makes sense. I'm just going to play h6 and I want to go for g5. And we have an interesting middle game, I would say. Not used to this, but does it look terrible? White is probably better, despite the scatter, because this is kind of an advantage, to be honest. It's not really a bad thing. Now that you castle though, you give me this. I'm not really sure about the last move. I would like to put the king on d7 because it looks kinda safe. I have many ideas. Could even play bishop e6. Because if you think about it, I don't know, bishop b7, what is the point of bishop b7? Bishop b7, you are just targeting the knight. And I don't know. This bishop is not even a really easy target, although if you think about it, there is also this move. So that's why bishop b7 might be better. But I'm still going for bishop e6 anyway. If you play this, I can just go back eventually. The fact is that having a bishop on e6 is going to be pretty good for me since I want to launch this pawn towards my opponent. Now, I could have played this already, but I don't know, you have to develop pieces also. If you don't develop pieces, you get destroyed anyway. You can't just attack, hoping that your opponent is not going to attack you back. So you need to be a bit careful. Now, I could have gone for knight on g4, but you can just defend the pawn. And then play h3, and I have to go back once again. I don't feel like that move does make a ton of sense. Knight on d5 also, bishop goes back, and I don't know what to do with this knight. Before attacking, I would like to develop all of my pieces, which is the thing you should usually do. Now my bishop is pinned, so what I want to do now is playing king on e7. Obviously I don't want to castle. If your opponent doesn't have a queen, it's not really easy to attack your king or to be mated. And also, it's good that he has a rook on d1, but it's not so easy to put pressure on this file. You need to move this knight somewhere, and you need to push pawns and do a lot of stuff. g5 is coming, and I want the bishop on g7 so that I have everything looking at the queen side, and I can push these pawns. Alright, move the knight, so I probably want to go for that idea. What can I do now? Okay, this knight is not bad. An idea could be to take, but you can take with the pawn, and at that point this kinda makes sense. But what can I do if I don't take? Let's say I play this, still I don't know. What is the point? Pawn is defended too. Yeah, I think I have to take this one. It is so annoying. And now we attack the bishop. And we go for bishop g7. Now you could play this, looks stupid, but you could play this. It just blocks your pawn. Doesn't do much more than that. So let's say you go back, I play bishop on g7, and we have one more defender of this square, even though it doesn't really matter, because you can still go for this. At that point I probably had to push. So thinking about it, it might be better to defend this pawn. I start launching an attack towards the king side. So I'm just going to play a5. a5 because I need to play quick moves now. My opponent is coming, and I have to do something about that. Might even want to sacrifice something. Let's say you play this. I don't think I have time to defend the pawn. I have time to push. Like, I want to push. Let's say you take, I'm going to take, you take. I'm going to win the pawn anyway. We'll just give a check or take and then to give a check. The king move. And this looks really scary for white. I would say it is a complicated position. Probably the best thing to do is going for the attack. Like, I'm going for the attack, you go for the attack, which faster wins. As simple as that. Because if you start defending, I don't know, it doesn't look even so simple to defend. Let's say you play a move like king on b1, I still play a4, I still want to take, I still take with the bishop, I still threaten stuff. But I am a bit down in development. So I guess if we put this position on Stockfish, it might say embossed. Yeah, what to do now? Yeah, this is in fact a good move. I'm thinking about pushing, and I will in fact push, and I'll tell you why. I know I'm blocking the bishop, but let's say I don't do that. Let's say I can't take, but let's say I just keep going for this plan and you take. After I take, let's say with the bishop or with the pawn, they're going to be pinned, the knight gets in. Pressure of the bishop, pressure of the rooks, I don't like it. This way I'm blocking a lot of stuff. If you think about it, this way I'm blocking the knight because I can't go on this square. I could go on this square, but I have c6. You take my bishop, I consolidate, I don't care. And this is weak. The bishop is completely blocked. The rook is now blocked. This rook is still good, but there isn't an easy way to attack me. Okay, you have this, looks really stupid. It might be good, but it looks stupid to me. And remember that I always have the move c6. Wow, yeah, still looks stupid. Right, c6. I don't want to take. I want him to take, because if you take, you're going to have a horrible post-stature. Next move has to be this, 94. 94 is quite annoying. What you're threatening is to take this pawn after 94. So take, knight take. So an easy move to play could be rook b8. Just changing plans. Remember, you don't have to necessarily to go for your plan. If the position changes, you can change your plan, obviously. If that plan doesn't work anymore, just change it. Alright, this makes sense, attack the pawn. I don't want to play rook c8. I mean, I don't feel like it's necessary. The king is already bad where it is. I don't want to improve his position. I definitely don't want to. I think rook b8 just makes sense. You really don't want to give the knight for this bishop. This bishop is way worse than this knight right now. He's doing pretty much nothing. He's trying to defend the pawn. He's a fat pawn, as I used to say. So what I want to do now is developing this bishop, connecting rooks, maybe give a check, and try to do something decent. So I don't want to play bishop on g7 because once again I want this pawn. I can't speak today. I want this pawn to be blocked, to be there. So it's kinda useless to have a bishop on g7. So I might want the bishop on b4. I struggle to understand this move. Bishop e7. Bishop e7. Bishop b7, take with bishop. I would like to play bishop before attacking the rook. But once again, what is my advantage? So if you think about it, bishop e7 just makes sense. Because I still get to choose. I had a bishop on e7, it might go on c5 in the future, even though right now it doesn't do a lot. On b4, even though right now it doesn't do a lot. And I'm also threatening to win a pawn, so you have to do something about it. After you take, I could take with the bishop, I'm just going to take with the pawn. Way more logical. I just have an annoying pawn. This bishop is not going anywhere. You could push this, okay, whatever that does. Still, you could take my bishop, but I really don't care. Now I'm just taking the pawn. I have some lines for this bishop. If I want to. I don't, because this is undefended. If I give a check, there is this. I really would like to get in with the rook. So the logical move to play is definitely a4. I know if I play a4, it can fix his structure. I don't care, because there isn't an easy way to target this pawn. But it's easier to target this pawn probably, because let's say I open the position and get in with the rooks. The fact is that we are trying to win a game, we are not trying to win a pawn. So it's way more important to go for the king. Obviously, if I give a check, you can't play, for example, king on d2, because I would have a check winning the exchange. Alright, you want to double rooks. This looks risky because I have this. Although right now there isn't an easy way to punish it. What happens if you double rooks? In this case, nothing. Maybe you want to play this. Yeah, still going for this. It still looks pretty good to me. Now the pawn is defended, that's true, but still I have ideas. And he decided to take, obviously we take this. I want to double rooks now and threaten a3. And if you take, I have this check, you go there, check. I win at least a rook. Maybe you want to play this. Now I could prevent it right away. I want to double rooks, as I said. I could just play rook b6. And I honestly can't see something bad about rook b6. Rook b6, prevent this, you can't play this obviously, you still have to double rooks. To move the king, you give me a huge target. Rook b8 is coming. I don't care about having this file is useless, this file is empty. I want to go on b8, where there is this juicy pawn to win, and I have a lot of really good threats. Once again, you don't want to take the bishop, this knight is way more annoying. Luckily this bishop is terrible, otherwise I probably would be lost. Because right now I'm kinda playing without a piece. But also my opponent. Okay. So now you give me this. To be honest, I don't like this move at all. Now you put yourself in danger for no reason. We could still target this pawn. I need to activate my pieces, so this makes sense first of all. And I figure I could give a check. After I give a check, I still don't know what to do. You're not going to play this probably. You might play this. I can give a check, but you block with the pawn. So I need to figure. Probably I want the king to be on this square right now. I don't want him to get closer to this side and be defended. But yeah, we got a good position to play. And he decided to go back with the king. Wow. That's some bad move being played. Okay, now you waste 2 tempies. Really bad move. What to do now? Still, this doesn't work. Could push a give a check. It doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't do anything cool. So, I could push this one. And let's say you take. Just take with the bishop check. You play this. I targeted the knight. I mean, this move has to be good, but I can't really see why. But honestly, I think this has to be played. And I figured after. It really feels like being a good move. That's the problem. And he took without thinking a second, which is not clever. So I probably have to take the pawn, I don't see anything else. Could give a check, you go back and take. And bring this rook. Yeah, I'm just going to take this one. King moves. I would like to play this. Knight moves. It's a fork. So that probably is not a really good move. I could attack the knight playing this. And this looks good. I could give a check, but doesn't really make any sense. And I could even play this. I'm going for this one. Looks logical to me. You can't pin the bishop. If you take, well, just lost an exchange. If you take my bishop, I'm just happy. Alright, he decided to take. We could take with the rook. But then we will get pinned. Probably not. We could take with the rook. We could take with the king, which looks good to me. We could take with the pawn. Not an easy decision right now. This is game changing, definitely. I need to be pretty careful. Let's say I play this, you defend. Let's say I play this, you could even target this one. Taking with the king does make sense to me. And after you play this, I guess I figured. But I have for sure pressure. And I have pass pawn. Yeah, everything looks good, but I don't know, man. I'm going to take with the king. Seems logical to me. I'm using another piece, basically. So it's like playing up a piece, because I'm using the king, my opponent is not. I have weaknesses now, that's true. But it's not easy to defend these. You have to bring a rook there. Without the bishop, I could do a lot of stuff. I also have a pass pawn. I think this is better than taking with the pawn. If I take with the pawn, looks really equal. Like, taking with the king might not be the best decision, but I create imbalance, I'm creating something at least. Otherwise, I don't see a way to do something decent. So an idea could be to push this pawn. And I'm just going to do that. Just going to do that, this pawn is annoying. You could play this, which loses an exchange. This is the threat right now, obviously. And not only that, I'm threatening to take a lot of space and maybe push this pawn if I need it. I think this makes sense. Right now the king could even get in. Could even get in the position. Like, this is important. I need to play with everything if I want to win a game, obviously. I can't just play in with the rooks and the bishop against, in this case, a king and two rooks. This bishop is not playing, and till he's not playing, I'm the happiest man alive. I don't want that to be playing. Now, if you play move like king on d3, king on d5, threatening this, threatening to cut off a ton of squares, threatening to win, basically, because if you play this, I have a fork, and if you play this, I have this fork. Yeah, this looks logical. We'll play this now, but you have this, which I don't want to allow, obviously. So yeah, really logical move. If you play this, I give a check and a figure. This cannot be a good move. I just feel like it. I mean, I have everything going on. Also, you're still losing material. Let's say I give you the exchange, which is something I might do. Perfectly fine. Because you play this, I give a check. You play this, I win a rook. So I give a check. You play this, I win the exchange. You move and I take. Let's say you take this one. Okay. We both are down in exchange, so I mean, we both would have a bishop and a rook, and I think it will be pretty fine with the pass pawn, a ton of space. But yeah, probably 6, now that I think about it, is the best thing to do, because I don't see this move for white, a different move. Don't see anything else. You move this rook, this still comes. Maybe you don't get forked, but it's bad. But yeah, even rook c7 looks kind of playable. Yeah, this doesn't look playable to me. Yeah, give a check. Go up. We have a fork. Now you could give the rook for the bishop. And after that I could take this one. Rook take, take. King take. And I have to win. Yeah, this is stupid. Can't be a good move. Alright, man, if you want the rook, take it. Who stopped the queen? Who is stopping the queen? Yeah, no one. Now it makes sense to me. Well, to make it simple. GG. I'm up a piece. I take the bishop. The bishop was the problem. I take it. You take my rook. I win another pawn. I'm up a piece and a pawn. No, I'm just up a piece in an endgame, which is winning, obviously. He decided to take, which is not a clever thing to do. I'm just going to take this one. This move loses, because after you play this, you forget that I can take with check and take at least the pawn. So still up a piece and the pawn. I mean, right now I'm +7 of material, +7 points. So I can easily give you a rook and still be winning. So this is not scary at all. I can give a check, win 300 pawns, and give a rook away. Even though I might not have to do that. Let's say you play this, I have rook check. So if I play this, obviously you take my rook. To be honest, this wins. discovery check. The rook is defended. And I can't just wait doing nothing. If you take, I just take. And this will be defended. Yeah. Pawn is stopped. I'm up 8 points of material. You only have a king. And let me tell you something. This look a bit lost to me. Now, I know people, like you guys don't resign because your opponent can mess up. There are level those and time control where it is just disrespectful towards your opponent. You might not agree with me, but listen man, he's 1800, almost 1900. I'm 2200. We're not going to stalemate in this fucking position, first of all, and second, I have 5 minutes to think. So I find it just to be disrespectful, just saying you are stupid enough to stalemate this game, which is impossible, pretty much impossible.
A few moments later.
Alright, let's check the analysis. So this is my accuracy. Considering I'm not an e5 player, I would say it's pretty good. Alright, let's check the analysis. So e4, e5, this is all theory, this is the Spanish game, this is theory 2. Now the move is b5, and now it's bishop b7, or bishop d6, or bishop c5. This move is imprecise, but it's theory 100%. People play this against me, so this move was playable on the early chess database. It's imprecise because there is knight take, but as you saw, doesn't matter. Queen e7. Queen e7. I just have an endgame. It is easily theory. So, okay, this move was imprecise. As you see, I'm better in the endgame because the move long castle didn't make a ton of sense. Your king is weaker than mine, probably. And as you can see, pushing makes sense, and playing d5 has to make sense. We don't want, I mean, we can take, but we don't want to play this and allow our opponent to take and develop all of his pieces. We have to play d5 100%. This move doesn't look good at all, it is really weakening. c6, you take. Apparently, I could have pushed. Oh, now that I think about it, it was pretty stupid to me not to push. If you push, you block the knight and you win this pawn later. Takes nothing to win this pawn. Just a rook b8, you win it. It's undefendable. Yeah, totally missed it, my bad. This time I have to agree with Stockfish. My move was bad. I mean, bad compared to that. Rook b8 defending the pawn looks kinda logical. And now all of this stuff looks logical to me. Just trying to attack on the king side. It is pretty equal. And as I said, at this point, I probably have to take with the king, because if I take with the pawn, looks super equal. I don't see a way to win. I was right, it's zeros. The best move is taking with the king, in fact. The best move is taking with the king because I have to use all of my pieces. And this paid off. Playing this was really smart and just cutting away a ton of space and just creating threats. My opponent can mess up pretty easily. Like this. This move was terrible, this wins on the spot. Taking the bishop was fine. Taking this was completely fine. Now we give a check. And we convert with this. So yeah, this was a pretty good game. I hope you liked it. And if you did, please leave a like and subscribe. And I'll see you soon with the next video.